So right now, there's a whole lot of people on the left who are upset with Joe Biden, and they're saying how they're not going to vote for him in 2024, or they're going to stay home on Election Day. First of all, I want to say that the reason why that I haven't talked about what's going on in Israel and Palestine is because I don't feel that I'm well informed enough about the subject to really give an honest opinion about it. It's something that I realize now is it's a way bigger and a way deeper issue there than I realized. And I don't want to be a guy just mouthing off my opinions until I'm better informed about it. But in time, as I learn more about it and get a better understanding, I'll be glad to weigh in on it then. But to the ones who are upset with Joe Biden and saying, well, we're going to stay home on Election Day or we're just not going to vote, then you're going to reelect Donald Trump. And when you do, you're going to have a repeat of 2016. Everything that happened after 2016 is going to basically happen again, except this time around it'll be much worse, because what we will have said to Donald Trump is, hey, you got away with all of that. So if you can get away with all that, you can try anything else you want to do. And if Donald Trump is reelected, that's not going to help things on the world stage. That's not going to make things better. It's not like that peace is just going to be magically restored on the day that he gets in. You know, I know he likes to say in 24 hours, I will do away with all the debt that I helped create. I will do away with everything, and I will, bring peace to the world. And he says that, but that's not how it's going to be. But let's say for a minute that it is. Let's say for 1 minute that Donald Trump gets reelected, and when he does, peace just comes on earth. And the whole earth just stops fighting with each other. Let's say that happens. It still doesn't change the fact of what he wants to do right here at home. It still doesn't change the fact of the things that he wants to implement right here at home that's going to affect you and your family and your friends and your fellow Americans' lives. He still wants to arrest the homeless. He still wants to require every federal employee to pass a patriotism exam. He still wants to fine schools if he thinks they're Marxist. He still wants to pardon the January 6th insurrectionists, who, by the way, now he's calling hostages. He's calling them hostages, and he goes out on stage to them singing the national anthem. He's singing with them. And he goes out there. It's one of the most disturbing things and one of the most despicable things I've seen. And that's the kind of people that he wants to give a pass. He wants to give a pass to domestic terrorists. He wants to remove NBC and MSNBC because they talk bad about him. He wants to terminate the Constitution if he even thinks there's election fraud. Not if he can prove it. If he just thinks it, he wants to do away with the Constitution altogether. He wants to end birthright citizenship. He wants to abolish the Department of Education. He wants to ban trans in the military. He wants to ban Muslims from entering the country. So even if he restored peace on the world stage on day one, those are still things that he has every intention of doing. And it's not like he's just going to up and say, oh, here's Roe versus Wade back. You guys can have that back. All the rights we took from the gay and trans community, yeah, you can have those back. He's not going to do that. He's going to hammer down even harder and make life here at home even harder. So when you saw the Supreme Court get stacked and you saw rights being stripped away from your friends and your family and your fellow Americans, and you were upset and you were outraged, well, remember that on Election Day. And Joe Biden may not be your first pick. Truthfully, he wasn't really a lot of people's first pick. And you're not going to agree with him on everything. And that's the beauty of our side. I'll give you that. Okay? I will give you that on our side, what makes us stronger than them is that we are open-minded. What makes us stronger than them is that we do hold our own accountable. We're not in a cult. We don't cheer for someone no matter what. And that's a good thing. That makes us stronger than them. I have never heard a liberal or a progressive say that if Joe Biden has broke the law, that he should get away with it. They always say, well, if he's broke the law, if he's committed a crime, he should be held accountable. He should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. Anytime conservatives love to throw Epstein Island in our face and say, look at Bill Clinton on Epstein Island. Look at Bill Clinton hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. I've never one time heard a liberal or a progressive say, well, yeah, Bill Clinton should get a pass for that. I've never heard that. But yet we can show them videos of Donald Trump palling around with Epstein, laughing and hanging out with him and having a good time. We can show pictures of him sitting with young girls all over their laps, and they will turn a blind eye to that and give that a pass. So we're not the same, and it does make us better that we hold our own accountable. We don't have Biden flags flying all over our trucks and our boats. We don't, have life-size replicas erected of him in our homes and bow to it like a golden calf. That's not who we are. So I can appreciate the fact that you say, hey, we're going to hold Joe Biden accountable. I appreciate that. But you have to look at the bigger picture when you go into this election. And you have to realize that he's not going to do any of the things. He's not going to make the world a peaceful place on day one. As a matter of fact, it would be way worse. And all the things he intends to do, go to his website. That's not something I'm just cooking up. Go look at what he intends to do when he gets back in office. And then say to yourself, is that what we need in this country? You're never going to agree with Joe Biden on everything. You're not. And I do not condone in no way the death or the destruction that's happening in this world. It's a horrific thing. And there's no way in the world that I could ever condone that or give someone a pass for that. But here at home, we have a lot of problems and we have a lot of things that we need to work on and fix here at home. And we have to realize what we're looking at. We have to really look at what's coming down the pike at us, and it's pretty much everything you ever feared. And that's not hyperbole. That's not me trying to get people bent out of shape. You just have to look at the reality of the situation. We're not the same, and that's a good thing. But that makes us stronger than them. But we really have to look at the situation for what it is and understand that, America is going to slip away from us if we're not careful. We're going to wake up one day and the very America, the very democracy that we've fought so hard to keep is going to be gone. So get upset with Joe Biden. That's okay. You're allowed to do that because we don't hold him up on this pedestal as a cult leader. You're allowed to get upset with him. You're allowed to disagree with him. All I'm saying to you is just look at the bigger picture when you head to the polls in November of next year.